So it's too late now. I will be here for the next 4 hours. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm either gonna get... I'll either make it or I won't. Only two options. I either don't throw when I hit 500, or I throw and I don't hit 500. Literally the only two options. Alrighty. Alright, let the round start. Look at that stick drift, man. Oh, sad. Hi, Hermit. You're gonna get screwed this stream. Yeah. Maybe the map, like, will just quit itself. Say, GG, good job, Wilda. And you go play something else now. Want to hit 500. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty fire, I think. Once the zombies decide to spawn in. Hi, Cletus! Max ammo? Aw, if only. Yeah, I decided I'm just gonna do it tonight. I'll be up to like 2 AM, but it's worth it. I think it's worth it. It means I don't even have to touch this game tomorrow. Oh, well, technically it will be tomorrow by the time you're still playing. Yeah. Alright, I should be done with this game by about 273.50. Maybe. Let me go see if they're all in the Discord. Who are these people? Oscar Otter, Itzilix, Turb, Orbic, Paul? Who? Pual? You sent the message? Yeah, yeah. I want to go ahead and I want to finish this up tonight. I want to finish this up in my game. I'm actually just going to do 500 tonight. I'm right there. I'm so close. I'm like 4 hours away still. I gotta see if I can have a Chief or like Rye, see if they can put me on the front page of ZWR. Pretty please. I'll only ask if he comes here. I'm not gonna message him about it. I'll only ask if like one of them come here or something. Because I only really saw the bed of it, so it kind of looked like a tow limo at first. Then I'm thinking, oh, is that the bed of a semi, by chance? Limo to an AutoZone after they're closed? Like, I have no idea. There are some weird people out there, all right? If you have a limo, you might as well go to an AutoZone after it closes. All right, you can do whatever you want if you got a limo. You might as well get an oil change at AutoZone. They don't do that, though, I thought. Or is that the joke? O'Reilly does? That's why O'Reilly's is better. O'Reilly. Auto part. Wow. Wow. Ow. Ow. Whatever they say. Timber zone. Auto zone. Alrighty. So what do I do for the next 4 hours here? Do you play Alcatraz? I do not. Get in the call? I guess I can do that. I did not. I haven't played Alcatraz in so long. Last time I played it when I was helping Zodus here in chat get platinum on the game. That's the last time I've ever played Alcatraz. We did that for the 10 wins, and that was it. That was painful to do.
It was fucking terrible, man.
It was awful, I know. Dude, so many people are just underneath the map, yet we still beat them. Like, how are you gonna beat...
Like, you need one more win, too, in Blackout.
I do, that's the thing. I gotta win by myself, but you got...
it. You would have had it, too, if you didn't disconnect.
I know. I like to think I did a lot there. I saw people from hiding in that one spot at the bottom, where you can just breathe underwater infinitely. So only zombies? Yeah, I really only play zombies ever.
Yeah, he's a loser.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? I'll let the Battle Royale people be good at Battle Royale, and I'll just stick to this. This is the one thing I'm good at. Okay, let me press a button for 150 hours and be good at it. Little cheaters on there? Yeah. Oh my gosh, whenever we play the whatever it's called, normal Heavy Metal Heroes, it's just who can get underneath the map first.
Oh, dude, that was insane.
You just gotta camp it. You gotta get underneath the map first, and then you gotta like kill all the people who do that.
Dude, I don't get why are so many people go to the fucking AutoZone on a Friday night.
Same, I don't know. They want their car. They need to feed their car. Their car's hungry. You know. It's like num num num. I need metal and whatever cars eat. Oil. Num num num. It's basically them. Same thing that. Oh my gosh, people. I work at the Little Caesars here. It's so annoying. So we close at 8. I know it's a little early for a Little Caesar to close, but we've been here for 3 years now. Over 3 years, actually. Word should get around that we close at 8, okay? I think that's a fair thing. We've been here for 3 years. I think that's a fair assumption to make. No, we still get calls at like 8:30. I want to place an order. Well, good luck then. I'm not going to be taking it. I get so unbearably mad driving anymore as well. I cannot stand driving around all these like elderly, decrepit individuals. Oh my gosh, it makes me mad. Like, please pick one.
Come on. You're gonna go to fucking speed limit.
If the speed limit is so there's a road, right? It goes from 55 to 35. That's what the speed limit goes to, right? If you are going 45, they go 45 miles the entire way through. So they'll go under the speed limit and then over the speed limit. Like, please. Just...
Oh, what gets me...
Follow the law challenge, difficulty impossible.
Under the speed limit. They'll go like 10 under speed limit. You go to pass them, and then they want to match your speed as you're passing them. It's like, you fucking idiot.
There's this truck. So, we live on one side of the train tracks. And so if you go to the other side, kind of across the road, way off out, maybe about half mile into like the countryside, there's a house or a truck always goes. They will ride your butt the entire way back. You better not dare even like, they'll let the neurons in your brain fire that you want to go home at the same time they're going home, because you're kind of screwed then. You might as well just like close your eyes and drive. You're gonna have a better time driving that way.
I mean, either way, you can't see.
Yeah. So.
Dude, I got no problem with trucks. I just hate the fucking LED lights on them. Because fun fact, most LED lights aren't street legal. If you're ever buying LEDs, they'll say if it's street legal or not. Most aren't.
The way my car came, I haven't touched it. I left it. It's stock. I haven't done a thing with it. So, whatever the people at the car place sold me is what I am using, and I get flashed all the time. So, I have not. I need to start flashing and honking back.
Lights.
Yeah, I might need to lower them actually. Like make them point downwards a tad bit more. They kind of are a little. They go a little high up. But like, it's not also my like
the flat area.
Like when you're in a car that's like 2 feet off the ground, right? And you're practically laying down. Like if your head is at the same level as like the top of my tire while you're in your car and I'm in mine, that's on you. At that point, right? Like I can only lower I can only make them point down so much before I'm like.
I don't get mad if it's just like regular. If it's a low beams, I'm not mad. But if it's a high beams, I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you using high beams? There's plenty of lights here. And now what gets me is the people who use high beams during the day. Like,
Some cars just do that automatically. They just have them on at all times anymore.
yeah,
So, which
well,
it's
not supposed to
okay.
have them on during the day. Is the thing.
Yeah, only if it's like raining, you know, stuff like that, weather, then have them on. But
God, learn to fucking drive, you moron. I shouldn't stop being illegal.
Yeah.
For driving in this game pisses me off because these fucking NPCs are terrible. Dude, don't fucking honk on me, you dipshit.
whenever I drive to college, I like, even though there's more people there, I come across like 10 times more people driving in Springfield compared to where I'm at now, and still it's like everyone there's such a better driver. I don't know why. Maybe the standards are higher. I don't know. Maybe it's just not a town full of old people.
That and it's not one lane.
Yeah.
Probably.
It doesn't even matter if it's like one lane or something. It's, I think it's called like Spur Drive. It's like the main road that goes through our town. And that's a 2-lane road for us. But people still think like, oh, let me go like 300 miles below the speed limit on it. And they'll just like, okay. Like that snail from the invincible snail that always follows you will beat them to like the store like when against someone in a car. Oh. I put my calories in on my thing here. To weigh myself on Monday morning. Yay! I had more breadsticks. I'm just gonna put them in for lunch. Doesn't matter really. I had like another 5. I'm over by 296, but I also walked around for 5 hours straight, so I should be fine for the most part. Total of 1,900 calories for the day. That's not awful. Not amazing. We have to wake up at 7 a.m. tomorrow to register for classes for next semester. I can't wait. Movie. Yeah. I'm not living in a dorm either, so.
What? You don't want to live in a dorm?
Nope. I'm driving up to 3 days a week though, so. It literally saves you. I think in total it saves like $4,000, maybe upwards of about $5,000.
To drive up there?
Yeah, to drive up there every single day. Or not every day. Every other day, like 3 days a week. Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about food.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you get a dorm, you are forced to also get a meal plan, and I didn't even use that meal plan really. I never used it.
Why?
And I
If
just
you're already paying for it, might as
the
well.
the food sucks so much up there. Oh my gosh.
Even then, if you're already paying for it, might as well.
Like I'll get a few things. I get drinks up there. I got drinks all the time up there. I didn't actually get the food. So it's like a double win for me. It's like a win-win because I'm also like, oh, I don't eat. Cool. I get to hopefully be less heavy. That'd be cool.
It doesn't matter if you eat a lot as long as you're active.
Yeah, but I'm not like the most active person, so.
Yeah, neither am
Ooh, my drops are invisible again. What? What?
I. Mm.
I think it's an insta kill I got. What? My drops have not been invisible for like, I don't know, maybe
270 hours?
200 hours probably. It's been a long time since my drops have been invisible at all. That's...
Did they turn it?
Yeah, they usually turn invisible about 40 to 50 hours in, then they'll come back after a little bit. But that's so weird. That's so sad, my drops. I can't see their beautiful icons anymore.
No, no.
Not my drop icons. What was that drop? It was just a green glow. Wow.
It was a noob.
Wow.
What was? Yo, it's train.
Train. Wow. Drain, should I actually instead go for a after this game, like, and once I finish up like all the other games I'm gonna play, should I do another game of Black Ops 4, or should I go for a Cold War Outbreak? Like round 5,000.
You should play some other games.
Well, yeah, well, I'm gonna do other games first. Detroit Become Human.
Yeah. Monster
What?
Hunter.
Monster Hunter? Oh, I don't know about Monster Hunter. Actually, I might like it. I'll probably like it, actually. I really liked that other game that was kind of like Monster Hunter. I played a while back. It was a free-to-play game as well.
Fun.
I like games that I can grind for stuff like that. It's fun. Or farming games where I can, like crank the efficiency, like, out of something. I don't know. I don't know, I've kind of been in the mood to play Black Ops 6 now as well. So, apparently the jet gun is worse with double tap since it'll go through its ammo faster. You can't do that like little tap firing strategy. Which
Yeah, that
kinda,
makes sense.
Yeah, it does ticks faster against like the heavy enemies because it goes by like it is faster to use, but it's not good for normal zombies, which kind of sucks. Also, someone got the new Transit World Record, round 199. So you're gonna beat that now? You're gonna get the first 200?
Yep.
Easy.
Transit Pro. They don't know I already got the 200.
You're just hiding gameplay? I'm hiding gameplay of my round 220 on Transit, the theoretical max, by the way. I love hiding gameplay. Yeah! I have a Diet Dr. Pepper with me.
What do they see me? Oh, because I honked my horn.
Oh, our work has a new drink flavor, Mango Mountain Dew. It actually sucks.
Mountain Dew's disgusting. I ain't gonna lie.
Mountain Dew's fine. It's like B tier. I prefer it actually over Dr. Pepper, but not by much, by barely.
Bullshit.
Play Mauer after this? If I play Mauer, I'm not doing Death Strip, by the way, Drain. If I ever play Mauer, I'm just gonna play Hotel the entire game. So I'm not.
Why not do both? You got an Xbox to switch between.
Yeah. Why? Because I'm not physically able to do it fast enough for it to matter, I think. I could play it for like a little bit, like the very first like beginning rounds, but once I get past like 55 or to a point, like I don't think I should play it anymore. I can't keep it up for that long for it to be faster. Just lock in. I don't want my hands to die. You know? You already say that your wrist gets sore after like an hour and a half. To go 200 then hotel? I could. Death Strip is just, it's hard on my hands with a controller. It's really hard on my hands with the controller, and I don't like it. It's not bad for the beginning rounds whenever the zombies are one-shot, but after they become like not one-shot, it starts becoming an issue a little bit. So plus, it would also only be like a 60-hour-ish game or so, though. So I know it's a long time, but compared to what I'm doing, yeah, 60 hours is nothing. It's fine.
Ryan, would you join the mafia?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm not. Nah, 60 is nothing. Yeah, 60 hours is nothing. I'm just not joining a mafia.
Loser.
Yeah, I know.
But dude, you can have an Italian accent in it.
I don't want one though. Like, I already play usually about, like, if I'm really dedicated, I'll play, like, maybe 10 hours every 2 days, maybe 11 hours every 2 days, so. Hopefully, I can hit maybe about 280, maybe 282 hours. Actually, no, I'll hit, I don't know, it depends if I play anymore tomorrow. I don't know if I'll play at all the rest of this weekend. I probably will, honestly. I'll have nothing else to do. What I'll probably do is tomorrow I'll load up the Tomb, I'll play some of that, and then I'll go down to like round 70, I'll stop, take a break, and then later that night come back and play some tag for like 2 rounds.
I'm doing shit, man. Just see.
Do this to 935 lock in? Let me look. Yeah, I'm not doing that to 935. No, isn't that strat like incredibly difficult? And it's like marginally faster as well, like barely faster. I'm not doing that. 2 hours with it to 935, maybe more? I mean, it's good for the speed run. I'm not doing that, though. I'm not cracked, and I'm not doing it. I think my second highest round on Cold War ever is Firebase Z. If I were to ever go for a high round on Cold War, it would be Firebase Z. I would want to get a 935 on that map first. I absolutely love that map. Is the best map in the game, I think. I love Firebase Z so much. So, be the second motor pool. How about I don't be the second motor pool? I'll find a 1 spawn on the map, don't worry. Dude, if only there was a single spawn on like one of those maps somewhere. Like there is on D Machine if you do a glitch, but Mauer have 1 spawns? Wait, where does Mauer have a 1 spawn? Oh, okay, yeah. Mauer does technically have a 1 spawn, but you're forced to, like, interact with the safe, though, right? Someone's got to be on the safe for it to be a 1 spawn. And so you can't really do that. Like, if you had somehow a infinite, I don't know, thorn bush put down, whatever it's called, it's slower anyways?
God damn it.
Is it really slower? I mean, so yeah, 2 spawns, you have 1 spawn. The same amount of zombies are going to spawn in total. But, yeah, I could maybe see how it's slower. Like, yeah, sure, it might be slower, but does it even matter at that point? Like, I don't think it does. I don't really think it matters if it's slower at that point. It'll be the easiest game of all time. Like, you can just sit back with the ray gun and, like, just tap the window every now and then. Let a few get in so you can grab ammo. With using mule kick, maybe. When are you doing the 3-player 935? Live stream watch streak. Let's go. Woohoo. When Deathstorm's girlfriend leaves him? I don't know who that is. Is he a high round player? There's no way a high round player has a girlfriend. That's not... Is that real? Is that possible? That's definitely a prank. It's a gotcha right here. Who Deathstorm is. Deathstorm makes BO3 camos? Oh, dang, that's cool. Oh, okay. What are the odds there's a secret round 500 Easter egg in this game? Ooh. Get to round 500 on tagged or Toten, and the entire map turns, I don't know. George spawns. George final boss. I don't know. Zombie Hitler spawns on Der Riese when you get hit round 50. George boss at 935? Yeah. He has 20 trillion health. But since it's an insta-kill round, he only has like 0. How long would 934 take in the strat if it was possible? I can look it up. This strat's about 7.2 SPH on average. It's about, it means, I don't know actually. Let me look it up real quick. I'm just going to use my current time as a reference for round 498. And I'll just use that as my reference for the 935 time. So 498. Oh, okay. Gotta turn numlock on. 498. So there are 22,000 zombies on this round. 931 hordes. There have been 3,700,000 zombies up to this round. So almost about 1 million, or just about, probably, yeah, I don't know. So let's see here. So 498 at 270 hours. I think it was like 270.11. 11 minutes, and it was round 498. 6 point. That's not right. There is no way. I'm gonna use my 47 here actually. What? It's saying it. I have an average SPH of 6.281. That doesn't feel right, but It. All the numbers are right. Was 7 minutes? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it says I have an average SPH of 6.281 right now. Wow. Okay. So let's see here. 934 to 935. Let me check here. How long would that take? Would take 5 hours and 42 minutes is how long that would take. Let's go 580 to 581. So the longest my rounds will get in this game currently are going to be about 2 hours and 15 minutes here. So I'm kind of nearing the very top end of my round length. I'll be able to get to around about 580 or so before I turn on Pack-a-Punch. So it'll be about a 2 hour, 15 minute round about that time. That's cooked? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm gonna do 500 this stream, Jumpy. It won't be for like another like 3.5 hours though, so it'll be a while still. Nothing happening anytime soon. Like 3 hours from now though, if you come back. If you do. Or sleep. Wait, no, you're not. You're based out of like Europe, I think, aren't you, Jumpy? Somewhere in Europe, I thought. I have no idea, actually. I think I've heard your voice once ever, and I can tell from the accent. I think it's Europe. Somewhere in Europe. I have no idea, though. I don't know. So it's like, it's morning then for you, or like, kind of in the morning. Well, yeah, I gotta reply to I'm Slosher. I lied. I'm playing. Alright, let's go watch. I'm gonna find something on YouTube to watch now. Oh, Jake's playing Ascension. What are the odds he's going to my stream right now? He's not. Then he's gonna respond with like belt buckle or something stupid. I don't know. Nope. Why is this so well made? Trash Birds Grinder ping, what?
Man, spring break was crazy. I think I slept with like 9 different girls.
Oh, that's funny, because I slept with like 10 girls during break.
No, did I say 9? I meant to say 11.
Oh, did I say 10? I meant to say 13.
Why did you just get a grinder ping?
Why'd you recognize it?
All unusual safe spots that no longer work indoors? I never thought about safe spots indoors.
There's safe spots indoors?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that there's safe spots indoors. Like, if you're... Like, Rush doesn't go after, he just goes through. He's like one of those node monsters, basically, from pressure, but... I never think about it like that.
Doors is ass compared to pressure.
Yeah. Doors is better coded than pressure, but like it feels a lot smoother. It runs a lot smoother in my opinion. But it's not as like good of a I don't know. It's just not as good as pressure. Pressure's just better. I think that the camera movement and the actual like movement itself of the character is so much better in Doors than it is pressure. Ambush is so much scarier than Frogger, though. Frogger's not as scary. I mean, if Frogger rebounded, like, multiple times and it was random, I think it'd be scarier, but you know exactly what Frogger does. Also, the door 50 boss is so unbearable to deal with. I hate it.
Oh, man, pressure?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so annoying.
It's unfair at times. Just die. Thank you.
This way, everybody.
Although I do hope pressure gets like modifiers. That would be so much fun. Like a big make it the same way. Doors did modifiers really good. So I hope that's what pressure does as well. They make some modifiers that are like you unlock them as you do more. I remember watching the video that was like some pressure dev on Twitter just kind of talking about modifiers that they would add to the game if they ever do it.
I'm rushing you! I'm rushing you!
Or it's a spawn like this if you're just kind of not even a foot deep.
I'm not done yet. Get ready again. Get ready again. I'm gonna go again.
Doors open.
I'm gonna rush.
I'm allergic to attention.
Rocky.
Follow me. Oh boy, another door. Hey, these hinges are a little rusty.
I'm gonna rush.
Doors open. Ear.
And make it double. Don't stop. Get ready again. Get ready again.
Open sesame. Door.
I'm gonna rush.
Or. Bing bing.
Can't you see I'm walking in? I'm rushing you.
Hello. Hello.
Can't you see I'm walking here?
Ear.
Fuck up.
Don't stop hiding yet. I'm not done yet.
For no fucking reason. No, you should brother my.
This way, everybody.
I'm gonna rush.
Make way, here I come. New room alert. Me. Another room down. Hello. Make.
Oh, you're watching.
All unusual safe spots that no longer work now. Roblox
I'm
doors.
gonna go again.
It's almost over, pretty much.
Whoa, Doors is getting new Rush variants. You heard me right, Rush and Ambush won't be the only main floor entities which function the way they do, where they rush into a room causing you to hide in a locker. But based on this message from the developers
Sorry, it's fun.
themselves, they are considering adding more entities that function like them. Now, although we weren't given a clear explanation for what these new official Rush variant entities would look like, I have gone through the liberty of creating 3 of my own, which I'll be showcasing and explaining to you in this video. So, right now, you'll be seeing my concepts for what I think the upcoming Rush variations could look and function like in-game. Keep in mind the design of most of these entities are placeholders as of now, except one which I'll get into a little later. So, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alright, so the first Rush variant I created is one I call Snot. Now, you may be thinking, Cheddar, why did you name it after a booger? Well, because it looks like a booger, simple as that. Snot here physically
English is
appears to
fucking
be a
banging.
green-colored Rush,
Okay.
with a more deformed face and a longer row of front teeth. They are not a pretty green color though, like Blitz, but instead an ugly sewer green, which is why they look like a booger. In terms of spawning behavior, Snot would be somewhat rarer than Rush, yet still potentially encountered multiple times throughout a playthrough. I imagine that in Floor 1 they would spawn solely on their own, yet in Floor 2 they would actually have the chance to spawn alongside Rush, as their mechanic could be used jointly with that of Rush's to make quite an challenging encounter. So, now that we have first impressions out of the way, how would Snot function? Well, much like a fart, Snot here is silent but deadly. They make almost no noise besides maybe a very low humming sound,
So
but
just
their
pinky.
presence would be notified by an extremely violent shake of your screen.
Oh.
They would also be incredibly fast, catching up to players almost instantly after their screen shake visual cue occurs. Now, this incredibly difficult detection method is balanced out by what happens if Snot does manage to hit you, as well as how they are avoided. Unlike the other Rush variants, being attacked by Snot doesn't actually kill you, but instead it would result in you losing a bit of health, being flung, and being temporarily blinded. All of these effects serve as a way of confusing the player, as although Snot is a nuisance at most when encountered alone, they can be the deciding factor between life and death if they occur alongside or right before Rush comes, which, as I had said, could happen periodically in the mines. Now, as for avoiding Snot, all you would have to do is crouch and stay crouched before they hit you. You don't even need to hide in a locker, and that means that if your reaction time is quick enough, from when you can see your screen shake to before Snot actually attacks, you can survive pretty easily. Moving on though, the next Rush variant concept I'd like to discuss isn't exactly a Rush variant, but at the same time it kind of is. It's a bit confusing, but just stick with me here. Essentially, this creature, which is inspired by Trevor Henderson's Smile Room monster, is what I like to call the Decoy. A fleshy mouth built into a mine's locker, featuring multiple sets of teeth as well as long tendrils extruding from each surface. This entity concept is also the one whose design isn't a placeholder, as I actually modeled it and didn't just edit an image of Blitz. Anyways, much like most locker monsters in Doors-inspired games, getting into the Decoy's locker would result in the entity eating and killing you. But surprisingly, it also functions like a Rush variant, which is why I'm putting it in this video. Here is how it works. You see, the Decoy would only be able to spawn in mine's lockers, yet going up to these lockers or just looking at them prior to opening them wouldn't actually reveal anything. The Decoy is completely invisible through normal means, and the way it's detected is actually through a very special audio cue. Essentially, whenever a Decoy spawns, every locker in the room will contain one of these Decoy mouth monsters, so technically multiple will spawn at the same time. And given how they are mouths, they should theoretically have a voice. So when the entities spawn, they would actually mimic the audio cue of Rush with their voice, even though Rush wouldn't actually be present. And this would trick players into opening the locker attempting to hide, which, as I said, is impossible to detect, contains a decoy map just by looking at it. And by doing this, the entity will be able to eat and kill the player. The reason why I'm putting this concept in this video about Rush variants is because it tricks the player into thinking Rush is actually coming by playing the entity's audio cue. So if they would open the locker or get eaten, of course, the audio cue itself wouldn't be an exact replica of Rush's screaming noise, but instead it would have a slight tone difference, so experienced players can detect whether Rush is actually coming or if a decoy locker is mimicking the noise as a trap. Lastly, though, the final Rush variant I have created is what I call Armageddon.
She goes, my sister's girlfriend thinks I hate her. I will now make her buy my love with the gift cards.
This entity appears to be a red-colored Rush with glowing malformed eyes, as well as a missing set of lower teeth. Armageddon, as its name suggests, is definitely one of the more violent and brutal entities on this list, and that is reflected in how it functions. Much like normal Rush, when Armageddon spawns, the lights would flicker and the ground would shake if they appear in the mines. Yet, unlike Rush, who has a relatively mild scream, Armageddon will release a blood-curdling howl as they pass through the runes. Additionally, much like Haste, they would actually have the ability to be seen through walls, as that way their proposed functionality would perform better. Now, unlike the other Rush variants in the game, this entity isn't countered by hiding. In fact, hiding from them is actually a one-way ticket to your demise. If you get into a locker, they'll just open it and kill you. And much like how A120 or Haste functions, they'll actually follow your player character, meaning you can't hide in rooms previously thought to be safe. So, if you can't hide from Armageddon, how do you counter them? Well, the answer to that question is by fighting back.
Alright.
This entity, although intimidating, can be fought back against with enough resistance. Yet actually providing that resistance can prove to be a difficult challenge. Utilizing their A120 like following behavior,
given like concepts for different things indoors.
the way players would avoid Armageddon is by standing their ground. Let me paint the picture for you. You are standing in a room and suddenly behind you the entity appears barreling towards you. In order to avoid them, you must look at them dead on, resulting in them teleporting to a new location and attacking from there. This kind of thing is like a buffed version of Screech, although after looking at the entity one time, instead of leaving, they would just move to a different position and attack.
That's actually really, I actually really like that idea. That's such a cool idea.
What is?
So it's a guy named Armageddon, right? And so pretty much what it does is kind of like a Screech, but in a Rush form. So you'll hear apparently some like blood curdling scream, and something will come either barreling at you from the back or the front, right? And you have to look at it dead on. And as long as you're looking at it right before it hits you, it'll teleport to either again the front or the back, and it'll repeat that a few times. And so you have to kind of stand your ground and like keep looking at it as it comes running into the room. I really like that idea, actually. It's kind of cool.
Back from there. With each new position Armageddon takes, they'll become even more stronger and aggressive, until they become so fast and violent that they either kill you, or you successfully look at them some amount of times to warrant their departure. I'm not entirely sure what that amount of times is, but just a lot of times. So, to summarize, the Doors developers confirmed...
I like that idea of Armageddon. I really want... Oh, man. I want more pressure updates. I want more Doors. I don't want more Doors updates, really. But, you know. I don't really play Doors. I want pressure updates. Give me pressure. I'm only an hour into this. Half the round's over. I got an entire another round after this round. Ryan's world is being investigated by federal authorities. How old is that guy now? Isn't he like 14, 15? Dude, the parents need to have another kid at this point. Restart the process.
I mean, many of you have already probably seen hundreds of videos about Ryan's toy review and how his parents are basically milking him for cash like a cow. And even me myself, I have made loads of videos on him, but trust me, it's worth the watch, as his story keeps on getting darker and darker by the day, with this time his parents literally being investigated and exposed by government officials. Anyways, so if you didn't know by now, Ryan Kaji is that child billionaire that had a camera in his face recording toy reviews pretty much before he even came out the womb. Wait, that's not even possible. Anyways, whilst we were all playing with Barbie dolls, this guy was making your entire family's net worth in a day's worth of YouTube ad revenue, with him currently sitting on 40 million subscribers and 60 billion views. Absolutely outrageous. But building a successful YouTube channel isn't all that Ryan has. He's got his own movie, toys, Nickelodeon show.
Wait, Ryan's World has his own movie?
More. It's absolutely crazy. But the controversial thing about all of this
is it good?
Even though Ryan is the star of this multi-billion-dollar
I should
content
watch it.
farm, how much does Ryan get to keep, and how much is stolen by his greedy, evil parents?
You're on track to be a teenage billionaire. How much does Ryan get to keep of all this?
Oh, be careful, Ryan.
People recognize me and be like, hey, you're Ryan. I just realized that you're famous.
What's been the biggest sponsorship that you've said no to?
Millions of dollars. We lost revenue of 70%.
I just pushed through.
You're the first creator ever to have a Macy's Day Parade balloon and have a product in Walmart that sold over $1 billion.
To just go from just a regular immigrant family and then now full-length feature movie, that's a big step.
If like Ryan were to call it quits, what would happen?
Things get pretty suspicious when you start pulling at the threads of Ryan Kaji's empire. I mean, how much of this vast fortune is actually his? You see, Ryan's parents, Shion and Luan Kaji, are the masterminds behind this operation. They're the ones pulling all the strings, and to say they're living the high life would be an understatement. Multi-million-dollar mansions, check. Exotic vacations, check. Private jets, yeah, they've probably got one of those too. And what's Ryan doing? Well, he's still cranking out toy reviews, even though he's now got facial hair. But why? Is it because he wants to, or is it because his parents are just keeping him blocked in a cycle for their own financial gain?
How old is he? I gotta look this up. How old is Ryan?
I think he's 18 now.
No, he's not 18. That's definitely. There's no way he's not 18.
No.
Ryan's Order was active for
Oh,
9
that's-
years
oh,
from
he's about our age.
2024. He was
Hasn't been
born.
around since.
Oh my gosh, he's like 14. Oh, he's 13 right now.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's 13, almost
Nice.
14. This kid's almost starting high
He was
school.
born.
Oh no. Oh, he's from Texas. Dang.
Yeah, I thought he was about our age when.
I feel like he's gonna commit a lot of crimes when he grows up.
Think he's gonna join the mafia?
Mm-hmm.
Mafia member.
He's the 4th most popular 13-year-old? Huh? Who's the first?
Yeah. Oh. What does Roblox have to offer right now? Anything decent?
What does Roblox have to offer?
Nothing.
So many games,
Just
but no
straight up
games.
Garbage. I know. It's rural.
Make a new account on, here's what you do. Make a new account on Roblox, go into pressure, and just beat the game as many times as you can without dying. And just display that on your character, where it's like, you can have the badges. Display the badges, like, this many wins, this many deaths. I wonder how many wins I could get in a row if I tried on pressure. It's not a hard game, but you can kind of get screwed over sometimes.
That's Fortnite. Is there gonna be never? Oh my goodness! I gotta log in. I don't know my password. I'll just send some of the other ones they use. I have to put fucking symbols. It's oh my gosh! It's not verification. Yeah, that's correct. Okay.
The way Clash Royale is selling a card for $60. There's no way.
This is actually
Where's there's an update
I want
for
to
it?
play the
I'm
new
not
card,
playing
but I
it.
don't want to spend $63. That is ridiculous, dude. And the only way I
games
can
do you
get
have
it
on
is
Epic
using my
Games?
gems or paying $63.
You want?
I got Guardians, Ghost Runner, Surviving the Aftermath.
Yeah, don't look for me for games to play. I don't play anything.
Ring of Pain. What the hell?
Play
Tomb
some
Raider,
Skate
Fallout
3.
3.
You should try and
I need to get Skate 3.
Skate 3 is fun. I like it.
I think there's a platinum trophy for it.
Go get the platinum for Skate 3.
Yeah,
It might be some
probably
online
wouldn't
trophies,
buy it.
although you could probably find some people who play that online still. It's probably still a pretty active game.
Let's see. There's 69 trophies.
In Skate 3? What the
Oh,
heck?
for the DLC.
Oh, that's right. There is DLC.
It's like 50 base and then the DLC. Yeah. Let's see. Let's look at the guides. Oh, there's a lot of multiplayer. We're in a ranked team on a lot. Is it even possible to get platinum? Guess if not, I'll just get on PC. Yeah, it looks like there's boosting sessions, but
Dollars. It's the only way I can do it. So this is ridiculous. So I'm going to spend, what is this, 2,500 gems,
Yeah,
which
I've
is the
seen
equivalent
that.
of
Steam,
31
Steam,
Australian
I've
dollars
seen-
to open one of
I've
these.
seen-
And if
I've
I
heard
do
it.
not get the guaranteed champion as the boss bandit, I'm gonna be cut up, man. I'm not gonna fucking lie. All right, this better be it. This better be for the win right here, because otherwise I'm spending $63. I don't want to spend that kind of money, man. All this doesn't matter. All right, I want that one. Okay, I have to go through the spinny animation for legendaries, which are not all that anymore. And okay, whatever. Please, man, please, please, for the love of Christ.
I don't want fucking skates. I want a video game. Could get on Microsoft.
Can I even unlock this card? Where does this card get unlocked? Sanctuary.
Minus forward.
No, I don't want to do it. I'm buying another one.
Yeah,
Fuck
so
off, man. I'm
PC.
not paying $63, man.
He's been wanting me to
Fuck
get
that
it,
shit.
so
I am getting this one way or another. I don't care. I'm not paying $63. Stop scamming me and give me the evolution or the fucking whatever the hell it's called. I saw it. Please, please. Yes. Thank Christ, man. All right. Okay, so this is what we're doing. I have the deck ready. It's a 6 elixir spammy card, and I want to play it with Evolve Lumberjack. And I should be able to max this out using all the stuff I've just stockpiled over ages. Are you serious? All right, looks like we're... Wait, 12, I can get it 13. Oh, no, I'm fine. Okay, we'll just do this. We'll do this. That was a waste of champion wildcards, I'm aware. Get it to 14, bang, and then, okay, now it's 50. There we go. Bang. Okay, max level. All right, thank God. If I had to buy that, you would be seeing blood coming out of places you don't want to see. So we're going to give this a crack against Tony, first victim. I'm probably one of the only people in the fucking world who the low enough IQ to have done that. But, yeah, we're here. So let's see what he says. Tony, here it is, man. Look, it's the boss bandit. Woo, already level 15. Okay, Tony doesn't like that, it seems. I'm going to rage this shit up because I need that to... Ooh, boss bandit? Okay, he went all... Okay, he really did go all in there. But we're going tower for tower because that thing is definitely taking his tower. And you know what? I'm going to go backwards, go with the Goblin Curse, turn them into goblins and damage amplification, man. And that's going to be tower down. And that's just going to dash onto that shit. Whew. God damn. So all day I've been planning a dick, right? I've been planning evolved cannon.
What if a single Marine fought against platoon fought against the entire Roman legion?
If a modern Marine platoon time traveled to the ancient Roman Empire and had to fight an entire Roman legion, would they win or lose? I have considered the two possible scenarios, and I discovered some interesting stuff. The first scenario is the most realistic and quick one. History shows us what happens when advanced armies face less advanced ones. Take the Battle of Cajamarca, for example. The Spanish, led by Francisco Pizarro, had only 168 soldiers, but managed to defeat 8,000 Inca warriors without losing a single guy. The Inca had never seen firearms before, so when Pizarro showed up with these weird firing boomsticks and captured their emperor almost instantly, they freaked out. They ran in all directions, completely terrified by this strange new technology. This tactic is still used today and is known as shock and awe. It's all about unleashing such overwhelming and immediate force at the start of a battle that the enemy becomes completely demoralized, making them either fight poorly or give up altogether. Most likely, this is what the Romans would do too, ending up losing the battle. But this scenario is too boring. Now, let's get to the good stuff. In the second scenario, let's imagine that the Roman legionaries underwent some sort of incredibly strong psychological training and didn't just run away as soon as they saw the first rifle. Let's first analyze what the two sides have with them. The Marine platoon has 43 soldiers equipped with M4 carbines, M27 rifles, M320 grenade launchers, M67 fragmentation grenades, and 3 M240B medium machine guns. On the other side, the Roman legionaries have 5,000 soldiers equipped with a gladius, 2 pilum, and a pugio, a dagger used as an extra weapon for close combat. They also have armor and shields, even though they're not able to stop bullets. If we're being completely honest, the Roman legions might have been much bigger if we counted the auxiliaries too. These were non-citizen soldiers who served alongside the Roman legions, but we're not going to count them here since they weren't part of the core legion, and including them would make it way too overpowered. What we do have to take into account, as it's something really crucial to the whole battle, is logistics. On one hand, Marines are a small tactical unit not designed to stay in combat for many days. They only carry food for a short time. The Roman legion, on the other hand, usually brought a lot more food rations with them, giving them a big advantage over the long haul. The only area where the Marines might match the Romans is water, thanks to their water purification tablets, unless they're battling in a desert, of course. The Romans were also historically known to win a lot of their longer battles by quickly resupplying their legions. They could efficiently bring in food, equipment, and even new soldiers. For the Marines, the only way to restock on supplies would be to raid Roman villages. But that's a risky move because it would mean entering urban areas where the Romans know the terrain much better, increasing the chances of getting ambushed. Plus, one of the Marines' biggest advantages is staying at long range with their guns, while the Romans have to get up close with swords. In In urban areas where everything is much tighter and there are tons of angles, the Marines' long-range advantage would be pretty much useless. Furthermore, if the Marines were forced into close combat, they would find themselves at an incredible disadvantage. Not only do they have much less training for it, but their gear isn't designed for that kind of fighting. Marines usually wear a flak jacket and a Kevlar helmet, which leaves their limbs, face, and lower body completely exposed, as mobility is a big priority in modern warfare. On the other hand, the average Legionnaire would be much better protected by their armor. This makes raiding villages a bad option, especially since each Marine life is incredibly valuable, given how many Romans each Marine could potentially take out. Also, Romans historically used tactics like the scorched earth strategy, during Hannibal's time for example, when they destroyed food supplies and cities the enemy could use to resupply. They'd even send less valuable soldiers, like slaves, to keep the enemy under constant attack and stress until they were worn down, then attack with their main force. From this analysis, it's clear that the Marines would need to defeat the Romans quickly or they'd almost certainly lose. They'd have to stick to rural areas with little natural cover to maintain the advantage of their weapons, which would leave them vulnerable to supply issues. We also have to remember that the Romans were really good at dividing their enemies with promises of power and rewards, but since we're ignoring morale, we'll leave that out. The Marines do have one big logistical advantage though: night vision goggles. This gives them the ability to operate effectively at night, something the Romans couldn't even imagine. If the Marines attacked villages at night to stock up on supplies or take out legionaries, their chances of success would be incredibly high. But now, let's get to the meat of the battle. Considering the equipment the Marines carry, and the fact that they have far fewer men, it's more likely that their quickness of movement will allow them to choose where the battle takes place. The best terrain for them would be a plain with no natural cover, except one for them to defend themselves from the Romans launching their pylum. The Romans would probably charge towards them, so the Marines would need to maintain distance using the bounding overwatch tactic, an alternating movement strategy that helps units advance while under fire. Naturally, the best thing the Romans could do to counter this continuous retreat and fire is to encircle the Marines. This would require them to spread out, making them much less vulnerable to grenades and bullets, giving them a huge advantage. This means the classic phalanx formation would not be effective at all. They could spread out into a single line, but that would make the Legion 10 kilometers long, which would be extremely difficult to organize and keep compact. The Marines would easily shoot at them or reposition while they try to organize. The edges of the line would be so far from the Marines that Roman soldiers would end up running blindly, essentially advancing with no clear orientation. The better solution would be a multi-file line with some distance between each file. A 5-line formation would span about 2 kilometers, which, while still cumbersome, would be much more manageable. The Romans also wouldn't be able to leverage their cavalry effectively. The Marines' equipment would allow them to spot the charging horses long before the horses see them, resulting in the cavalry being shot down quickly. Additionally, horses are large, easy targets, and even if they weren't killed, the noise of bullets would likely scare them off. The best way for the Romans to close the distance with the Marines would be to use a front line of expendable soldiers armed only with swords, allowing them to run as fast as possible toward the enemy. These soldiers would serve as sacrificial pawns, enabling the troops behind them to get closer to the Marines. The most problematic element for the Roman legionnaires would undoubtedly be the 3 Marines armed with M240B medium machine guns. These powerful weapons can fire up to 950 rounds per minute.
What?
And it changed the entire song for you.
I have not done that, no.
I was always curious, like, what. I kept seeing the one of Miku's song. I was like, fuck it, let's see what the lyrics are. And I was like, okay.
Miku, you can call me Miku. Blue hair, green eyes, hiding in your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, this one was talking about wanting to fuck the guy.
Oh. The lion pees wherever the lion pleases.
I'm gonna look it up where everything dries. Okay.
Minute. They require reloading after every 100 rounds, a process that takes about 5 seconds, and the barrel must occasionally be replaced, which also takes 5 seconds. This setup would essentially create a meat grinder for the advancing legionnaires, forcing the Romans to prioritize taking out these gunners with their pylon. Each Marine would need to kill approximately 117 Roman legionnaires, requiring extreme accuracy, essentially 1 kill per bullet, due to their limited ammunition supply. However, it's worth noting that while Marines are typically required to carry a minimum number of rounds, they often carry carry much more than the standard issue. One major advantage of the Marines that we haven't yet considered is the possibility of tear gas. They also have gas masks, which would provide them with a massive edge over the Legionnaires, who would have no means of protection against it. All things considered, the Marines would likely win in a direct confrontation with the 5,000 Legionnaires. However, the Romans might still have a chance if they adopt a more strategic approach, such as engaging in a war of attrition, waiting for the Marines to finish their supplies while avoiding ambushes at night. We could also consider a third scenario. The Marines cannot be descendants of the Roman soldiers, as killing them would create a time travel paradox that might also kill the Marines themselves. However, that is a whole other thing, so just forget about it. If you want to discuss this video or suggest an idea for the next one, join my Discord, link in the description.
I'm gonna get off later.
Alright, good night. See you later. Bye-bye.
The Manchester Hole Tragedy. In November 2005, 14-year-old Joseph Lister, along with 10 classmates, including his friends Charlie and Amy from his school, his math teacher, and a 17-year-old caver volunteer who knew the cave system well, decided to explore the Nidderdale Caves in North Yorkshire, England. The cave system is famous for its 20 entrances, and the group chose to enter through Manchester Hole, a small opening in the ground that leads to a huge cave. They descended through a hole into a massive chamber, about the size of a football field, with a few inches of water on the floor and a 50-foot-high ceiling hung with stalactites. After passing through, they entered a tunnel and climbed down a muddy path into a second, smaller chamber that still held all 11 students and had shallow water. The tunnel then narrowed sharply, forcing them to crawl on hands and knees for 40 feet through twisting passages. At the bottom, a muddy stream soaked their clothes, but led to a small chamber where they could stand again. The math teacher was the last to follow the group. When he reached the small chamber, the guide became very worried because the water level was much higher than usual, something he had never seen before. Even though it was cold and windy outside, there was no forecast of rain. Everyone was standing in freezing water. Their boots were filled with water, and there was hardly any space to move. To make matters worse, the water kept rising, soon reaching above the knees of some students. The guide, confused by the sudden flooding, knew they had to get out quickly, so they decided to retreat. The math teacher went first, followed by the students, one by one, taking the small passage back to the previous chamber. At one point, the teacher and 9 of the students were inside the tunnel when a sudden surge of cold water flooded the chamber. The guide, along with Amy and Joseph, were the last to exit the chamber and enter the tunnel. The tunnel was crowded with students struggling against the rising water. Realizing the danger, the guide, Amy, and Joseph went back to the previous chamber to catch their breath, but the water kept rising and they were nearly submerged. Taking a deep breath, they re-entered the tunnel. This time, the tunnel was clear enough for them to move. The guide led the way, with Amy and Joseph following closely. However, in the previous chamber, the guide pushed Amy out to safety, but Joseph never made it out. The water continued to rise, even in the chamber. The guide tried to go back for Joseph, but the math teacher insisted on taking the other 10 students to safety. Tragically, Joseph drowned in the narrow tunnel, where there was no air. After the incident, the group went to the surface to alert emergency personnel, and they emerged under a blue sky with strong winds, but not a single drop of rain. It was later revealed that strong winds had blown water out of the nearby Scar House Reservoir that day. Thousands of gallons of water were forced into the river below, causing it to rise 4 feet in just 1 hour. This surge of water drained directly into the cave system. Normally, water slowly trickles through and seeps into the groundwater, but that day the huge volume overwhelmed the cave's ability to drain, triggering flash flooding throughout the system in just a few minutes. Cave rescuers arrived within 20 minutes after being called. By then, the water had already receded to below their knees. They found the lifeless body of Joseph Lister in the narrow tunnel before the final chamber. Neil Moss Incident. It was Sunday, March 22nd, 1959, when 20-year-old Oxford philosophy student Oscar Neil Moss, along with 7 other people, 4 of whom were part of the British Caving Association, decided to visit Peak Cavern in the village of Castleton, Derbyshire. The cave system was well known. However, 2 weeks earlier, the same 4 BCA explorers had discovered a new fissure in a side chamber that was 1,000 feet deep. The 8 explorers entered the cave system in the afternoon. They were equipped with ropes, lamps, helmets, and other necessary caving materials. Upon entering, they discovered the Mucky Ducks section, a wet squeeze tunnel that was frequently flooded after rain. This led them to the Boulder Passage, an easier section where they could stand upright while descending and maneuvering.
You really sent you? You sent me? Alright. Let me go look at this. Take a gander. A peek, perhaps. What on earth? How would he react if he saw that?
Maneuver around various obstructions. Approximately
Like
493 feet into the passage, a 10 feet climb on
let's
the
go.
north wall of the upper gallery awaited them. High above the steep, muddy slopes was Pickering Passage, a long, narrow crawl space where you had to stretch your whole body to move through. It concluded with an awkward bend and a muddy sump. Above the eye hole, just large enough to accommodate a human body, laid the next challenge. It led to a thigh-deep, muddy pool that connected to the stalagmite chamber, a vast, beautiful part of the cave filled with stalagmites, with a ceiling high enough for a person to stand upright. Despite their fatigue, they approached the newly discovered fissure in the ground. The shaft measured around 3.2 feet by 2.3 feet. None had ventured all the way down there, but it was estimated to be at least 40 feet deep. To be safe, they decided to deploy a 250 feet climbing ladder, and Neil volunteered to go down. He started to descend around 3:30 p.m., pushing the ladder before continuing. He went down 12 feet when he met his first challenge, the corkscrew twist. He succeeded in pushing himself into a 10-foot-long, slightly inclined passageway, and then crawled through it, pushing the ladder as he went. Afterwards, he came face to face with a vertical passageway 18 feet deep, a section none had ventured into before. Throughout his descent, he maintained constant communication with his team above. Excited, Moss dropped further down the tunnel, but unfortunately, he met a boulder there. He knew he couldn't continue descending, so he decided to climb back up. Unfortunately, Moss found himself unable to lift his feet sufficiently to ascend the ladder. He became trapped in an elliptical crevice only 18 inches wide. He called out for assistance, and despite efforts to lift him by pulling on the ladder, it became jammed between the cave surface and his body. Ropes were lowered to help him, but every time they tried to pull him up, they either snapped or got cut by the sharp edge of the rock. His body ended up blocking air from getting into the shaft, so he needed to be rescued immediately before he ran out of oxygen. Some of the cavers left to seek more help. Within a few hours, hundreds of volunteers from across England, along with the Royal Air Force, police,
yeah,
and
probably.
even the Navy, joined the rescue efforts. Just a few hours after Moss became trapped in the shaft, the rescuers encountered another obstacle. By this time, the air in the shaft had become polluted by carbon dioxide. Moss became disoriented because of it, and he began behaving irrationally. Witnesses said that he wasn't helping at all, that he didn't seem to care about how serious the situation was, and that he even told the rescuers to take a break to get something to eat. Experienced cavers were sent down the shaft to rescue Moss, but one by one, they were forced back by the toxic air. 3 of the volunteers even lost consciousness. Finally, the 4th volunteer, Ron Peters, managed to secure a rope around Moss's chest and began to pull. However, he soon realized that this only worsened Moss's breathing difficulties. The Royal Air Force brought oxygen tanks to ventilate the shaft, and although the quality of air was marginally improved, it proved to be insufficient. The next morning, 18-year-old June Bailey arrived and suggested breaking Neil's collarbone to help rescue him. However, the toxic air stopped all their efforts, and they had to turn back. By Monday afternoon, roughly 24 hours after Moss entered the cave, he was still breathing, but it started to rain, and the entire cave was evacuated as a precaution. When it stopped, the rescuers went back to the shaft accompanied by a Royal Air Force doctor. They did not hear a sound. Moss was not breathing, and he was declared dead on Tuesday, March 24, 1959. Throughout the ordeal, Moss's father, Eric Moss, stayed at the entrance and asked that his son's body remain where it was to avoid risking further injury or loss of life during the rescue. The shaft was sealed with rocks from the stalagmite chamber. That chamber, which held the shaft, later became known as the Moss Chamber, his final resting place. The Manatee Springs Cave diving tragedy. On March 14, 2022, a couple of friends, William and Harry, and their respective fathers,
I think I've heard about
George
this
and
one.
Jack, decided to visit the Manatee Springs State Park in Florida to do some cave diving. At Manatee Springs State Park, divers need to have full cave diving certification and must dive with a partner who has previous diving experience at Manatee in order to access the cave area. All 4 divers had only the intro to cave diving certification, not the full one. The Manatee Springs system is known for its 4 entry points. Manatee Springs, mainly for open water divers, Catfish Hotel, Sue's Sink, and Friedman's Sink. The cave tunnels below these points extend for thousands of feet, but only Friedman's Sink and Catfish Hotel have an entrance pool for cave divers. The system is called a siphon because water flows like a river from a distant entry point and naturally comes out at Manatee Springs. Due to this flow, cave divers typically enter at one point and exit downstream at another. This type of dive, known as a traverse, is more challenging because divers must know 2 pathways instead of just one. Entering a siphon and a traverse system was only allowed for full certified cave divers. Regardless, they decided to enter the system at Friedman's Sink and planned to exit at Catfish Hotel. They started their dive at 11:17 a.m. Each diver equipped with 2 air tanks, both filled to 3,800 psi. Since the tunnels were about 100 feet deep, roughly 4 atmospheres of pressure, the air was compressed to 1/4 of its original volume and consumed at 4 times the surface rate. They all carried both primary
Wait, is AI talking?
Started their dive at 11:17 a.m. Each diver equipped with 2 air tanks, both filled to 3,800 psi. Since the tunnels were about 100 feet deep, roughly 4 atmospheres of pressure, the air was compressed to 1/4 of its original volume and consumed at 4 times the surface rate. They all carried both primary and backup light sources, as well as dive computers to track their depth, heart rate, movement, and time. Additionally, William and Harry had a GoPro in their head to document the entire dive. William and Harry took the lead, with their dads following closely behind. The gentle pull of the water from Friedman's sink helped them cover the 1,700 feet distance to Catfish Hotel. After the first 900 feet, they came to an exit line at Sue's sink. A rope tied to a rock marked the spot, and light from the surface was seeping into the tunnel. This exit was meant for emergencies only, because it wasn't set up for divers, but for campers. Their planned exit, Catfish Hotel, was 700 feet away. They kept diving and eventually reached the end of the route near Manatee Springs, but they couldn't see the exit line to Catfish Hotel. Confused, they started searching for any light coming from above, but found nothing. Fathers and sons teamed up and decided to return by following the line. At that moment, George had 3,000 psi of air remaining, which was enough to exit safely. However, the return trip turned out to be more difficult than expected. They were moving against the current, so their air consumption increased rapidly as their breathing rate went up. Finally, George spotted the exit at Sue's sink and noticed light leaking from the surface. George and his son William emerged from the system at 12 p.m. However, their friends didn't make it out. Something had gone wrong. William wanted to dive back down to find Harry and Jack, but George insisted on calling 911 instead. Harry and Jack had apparently missed the exit at Sue's sink. Their lighting equipment washed out the natural light leaking from the surface, and boulders further blocked it, so they didn't see the exit. They continued diving desperately for another 20 minutes, searching for any exit. Finally, Harry spotted the light at Friedman's sink. Rushing ahead along the guideline, he looked back to see his dad's camera light following him. Harry managed to exit the system at 12:20 p.m. with one tank completely empty and the other below 1,500 psi, but his father Jack did not emerge. William and George met up with Harry at Friedman's sink, and they talked about why they had missed the exit at Catfish Hotel. They later realized there was no upline leading to Catfish Hotel. Deep inside the cave, they could see light from the surface, but it was partly blocked by a 10-foot deep passage arranged in a double L shape, a detail they wouldn't have known without prior experience. In fact, many divers enter through Catfish Hotel and exit at Friedman's sink because it's easier, even though they have to dive against the current. Cave rescuers arrived around 12:50 p.m. and found Jack's lifeless body just 100 feet from the exit at Friedman's sink. Both of his tanks were completely empty. He had traveled 3,400 feet through the system and ran out of air in the last 100 feet. His final movement was recorded at 12:17 p.m., just 3 minutes before his son surfaced and 17 minutes after his friends surfaced at Sue's sink. If you liked this video, subscribe for similar ones or join my
This YouTube channel is kind of interesting.
Boltzmann Brain. Boltzmann Brain is a thought experiment that suggests that given enough time, a self-aware brain could randomly form in the universe due to quantum fluctuations. This hypothetical brain would have memories and perceptions of really living in a structured reality, even though it is just a temporary, random occurrence in a chaotic universe. This theory asks if it's more likely for the universe to exist with all its complexity, or for a single brain with false memories to appear randomly. If the latter is more probable, it implies that everything you experience might just be a brief hallucination by a Boltzmann brain. Solipsism. Solipsism is the idea that only your own mind can be known for sure to exist. According to this theory, the outside world, other people, objects, and events cannot be definitely proven to exist beyond your own perception. This is because all experiences are subjective, meaning they are understood through your individual mind. So while you may see and interact with the world, solipsism questions if the world actually exists on its own, or if it's all just created by your mind. You have no way to know. The teletransportation paradox. The teletransportation paradox is a thought experiment that explores the implications of teleportation and identity. Imagine a teleportation device that scans a person's entire body and mind, mapping every atom and neural connection. The device then transmits this information to another location, where a new, identical body is constructed, perfectly replicating the original person, including their memories and personality. The paradox arises when considering what happens during this process. Is the person who arrives at the destination the same individual who entered the teleportation machine? If the original person is disassembled at the point of departure, is that person effectively killed? If so, then the new person created at the destination, while identical in every way, is technically a different individual. The egg theory. The egg theory is a thought experiment that suggests that every person who has ever lived or ever will live is actually the same being, experiencing life in different forms and at different times. The theory proposes that when a person dies, they are reincarnated as another person without any memory of their previous lives. This process continues until that being has lived every human life in existence. According to the theory, the universe exists as an egg, a place for this single being to grow and mature through the experience of living many lives. Once all lives have been lived, the individual reaches a higher state of consciousness and becomes like a god, completing their spiritual evolution. Just as the universe, in this theory, is designed for growth and evolution, so too is every business. In my opinion, you can't really manage to do so efficiently without today's sponsor, Odoo. Odoo is a business management software that includes every app. The omnipotence paradox. The omnipotence paradox is a thought experiment that challenges the concept of omnipotence, or unlimited power. It asks whether an all-powerful being like God could create a stone so heavy that even they cannot lift it. The dilemma arises because both possible answers seem to limit the being's power. If the being can create the stone, they cannot lift it, which means there's something they cannot do. This implies a limit to their power, contradicting the idea of being all-powerful. On the other hand, if they cannot create such a stone, this also indicates a limitation, as they are unable to do something that should be within the scope of omnipotence. But God might be over logic itself. Or one might say that by omnipotent, we mean a being that can do anything that is logically possible. Being all-powerful doesn't mean doing logically impossible things like creating a square circle. It means having power over everything that exists. Logical impossibilities, like a square circle, aren't real things that can exist, so it remains just a cool debunked thought experiment. Antinatalism. Antinatalism is a philosophical position that argues against giving birth, suggesting that it is morally wrong to bring new individuals into existence because life itself inherently involves suffering, pain, and hardship. So it is better not to create new lives that will inevitably face these challenges. One key argument in antinatalism is that coming into existence exposes individuals to more suffering than joy, making it not worth it. Additionally, some antinatalists point out the environmental and ethical implications of overpopulation, arguing that it contributes to suffering not just for individuals, but for society as a whole and the planet. You are not free. This theory about the absence of free will for human life suggests that individuals have the ability to make choices and take actions based on their desires. However, they do not have the ability to control the will behind any of their actions, thus making them a slave to their own desires. In order to prove this theory, the following thought experiment is proposed. If you're deciding between which ice cream flavor to pick, chocolate or vanilla, and end up deciding that you genuinely want chocolate, there is absolutely nothing you could do in that situation to change that desire, unless an external factor that you also cannot control is involved, such as finding out that vanilla ice cream is cheaper or that it's not as unhealthy. This shows that the only way for you to do anything is by wanting to do it, which we already determined you cannot control, or by being forced to do it, which you obviously cannot control either, thus proving that free will does not exist. Ship of Theseus. The Ship of Theseus is a philosophical thought experiment that questions the nature of identity and change. It begins with a ship owned by the hero Theseus, and over time, as the ship sails, its wooden parts decay and are replaced with new ones. Eventually, every original part is replaced, which leads to the central question: is the fully restored ship still the Ship of Theseus? To complicate matters, suppose the original parts are gathered and reassembled into a ship. Now, there are two ships, one composed entirely of new materials, and one made of the original components. This scenario showcases how definitions are artificial and not as stable as we think. Does the ship retain its identity despite having all its parts replaced? Which ship is the true ship of Theseus? Ethical egoism. Ethical egoism is the philosophical theory that individuals should always act in their own self-interest and have no regard for the consequences of their actions on others. This theory asserts that actions are only morally right if they benefit the individual performing them, emphasizing that values like sympathy and altruism were an idea constructed by weak individuals who could not assert themselves in society, so they had to make up an entire moral system to justify their incompetence. Ethical egoism argues that, like all other animals, we have a deep desire to secure our own survival, and we should not deny it or act against it, as it would be unnatural and damaging to do so. Furthermore, ethical egoists argue that by pursuing their own goals, individuals may also contribute positively to society, as their actions can lead to overall better outcomes for other people as well. Roko's Basilisk. Roko's Basilisk is a thought experiment suggesting that a future artificial superintelligence could be motivated to punish or torture individuals who knew about the possibility of its existence
I've
but
heard
did
about
not
this one.
actively help in bringing it into reality. The purpose of this punishment would be to incentivize people to support its development. Essentially, the AI might create virtual simulations where those who fail to assist in its creation are tortured. Esse est percipi. It means that everything only exists if it's being perceived. For example, if you sit on a chair and stand up without looking at the chair has ceased to exist. Quantum immortality. Quantum immortality is a thought experiment stemming from the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. This theory suggests that a conscious being cannot experience their own death because there exist alternate realities where they continue to survive. The core concept proposes that every decision or event creates multiple branches of reality. In life-threatening situations, there will always be at least one version of reality where the individual survives. Therefore, when faced with danger, the individual's consciousness only perceives outcomes in which they remain alive. As a result, quantum immortality implies that individuals would perceive themselves as immortal and they would never experience their own death. Philosophical zombies. Philosophical zombies are hypothetical beings that look and act like humans, but lack conscious experience. These beings behave exactly as humans do, but they have no inner life, no subjective feelings or thoughts. The thought experiment challenges materialism, which holds that consciousness can be fully explained by physical processes in the brain. If it's possible to imagine a being that is physically identical to a human but lacks consciousness, then consciousness might not be fully explained by physical states. Zeno's paradoxes. Zeno's paradoxes are a set of thought experiments from the Greek philosopher Zeno, who used them to argue that motion is impossible, or at least not what it seems. The most famous paradox is Achilles and the tortoise, which highlights the problems that come up when we think about dividing things into infinitely small parts. In this example, Achilles, a fast runner, is racing a tortoise, which is much slower. To make it fair, the tortoise starts ahead. Zeno argued that Achilles can never actually catch up to the tortoise because every time he reaches the point where the tortoise was, the tortoise has moved a little bit further ahead. Imagine walking towards a destination. To reach it, you'd first have to walk halfway there, and to walk halfway there, you'd first have to walk a quarter of the way there, and so on, creating an infinite number of steps and causing you not to be able to reach your destination. Problem of induction. The problem of induction, introduced by David Hume, questions how we can justify our belief that the future will resemble the past. For example, we expect the sun to rise tomorrow because it has risen every day before. However, Hume pointed out that there's no logical guarantee this will always happen. Just because something has occurred many times doesn't mean it will continue to do so. Any justification for this assumption relies on past experiences, which is circular reasoning. If we say that we trust induction because it has worked in the past, we are using induction to justify induction. This means that our reliance on patterns in the world is based more on habit than on solid logical grounds. The experience machine. The experience machine is a thought experiment proposed by philosopher Robert Nozick to challenge the idea that pleasure and happiness are the only things that matter in life. In this scenario, imagine a machine that can provide you with any experience you desire. You could feel immense joy, love, success, or any other pleasurable sensation, all while being completely unaware that these experiences are simulated. Nozick asks whether you would choose to plug into this machine for the rest of your life. Many people intuitively reject the idea of living in the experience machine, preferring real life with its struggles and hardships over an artificial existence filled with pleasure. This rejection suggests that there are values beyond mere pleasure, such as authenticity, relationships, and the pursuit of genuine achievements. Moral anti-realism. Moral anti-realism is the philosophical view that there are no objective moral truths or values independent of human beliefs and opinions. According to this perspective, moral statements do not describe facts about the world, but are instead expressions of our attitudes or preferences. For example, if someone says, killing people is wrong, a moral anti-realist would argue that this statement doesn't reflect an absolute truth. Instead, it expresses a social consensus or a personal belief. The idea is that actions like killing are not inherently good or bad. Rather, we label them as such based on cultural norms, societal agreements, or individual feelings. The paradox of tolerance. The paradox of tolerance, created by philosopher Karl Popper, examines the limits of a tolerant society. Popper argues that a truly tolerant society should not tolerate intolerance, because if a society extends tolerance to those who are intolerant, it risks allowing intolerant groups to gain power and suppress the very freedoms that enable a tolerant environment. For example, if a tolerant society allows hateful ideologies to flourish, those ideologies could undermine the rights and freedoms of others, which creates a dilemma. If a society tolerates all viewpoints, including those that advocate for intolerance or violence, it may ultimately lead to the destruction of tolerance itself. Popper suggests that in order to maintain a tolerant society, it is necessary to take a stand against intolerant beliefs and actions, even if this means limiting the freedom of those who follow them. The knowledge argument. The knowledge argument, often illustrated by the thought experiment known as Mary's Room, was proposed by philosopher Frank Jackson, who created a scenario in which a girl named Mary is a brilliant neuroscientist who knows everything there is to know about the physical aspects of color, but she lives in a black and white room and has never experienced color herself. One day, Mary leaves her room and sees a red apple for the first time. The knowledge argument poses the question, does Mary learn something new about color when she sees the apple? Jackson argues that she does, because although Mary had all the scientific knowledge about how color perception works, her experience of seeing color for the first time provides her with new information that she could not have known while confined to the black and white room. This thought experiment suggests that there are non-physical...
I would actually, that would be such a crazy thought, experiment to do. If I got to do an experiment on someone without any morals, that would be something I would want to do. Would it be put someone from birth in a room that is like black and white or like something like that, where they put stitch a blindfold to them, right? So their entire life they would grow up with this like blindfold on that they think is just a part they just can't see, you know, that's just their life. And then one day remove it. Or they could do so much with that. Oh my gosh.
Aspects
crazy.
Of knowledge, specifically the subjective experiences of perception.
I know there was one where someone who was blind, who got their vision back, like not fully blind, like they knew what a sphere felt like, and they knew what a square, like a cube, felt like. However, when they looked at it for the first time, they could not discern the two apart.
The infinite monkey theorem. The infinite monkey theorem is a thought experiment that suggests that given an infinite amount of time, a monkey randomly pressing keys on a typewriter
write all of Shakespeare.
would eventually type out any given text, such as the complete works of William Shakespeare, helping to understand how long infinity really is. If you want to discuss this video or suggest an idea for the next one, join my Discord.
You can fill corners on squares, but how do they know what a corner looks like? That's the thing, though. I think you're right as well, Cletus, but I was kind of convinced as well with it. Like, how do you know what a corner looks like? If you've never seen a corner in your entire life, how do you know what that looks like? It's the same thing as us trying to perceive what does nothingness look like. That's something I would absolutely love to experience before I die. I don't know how you would do that morally, but like, I would love to know what it is like to be fully blind at some point before I die. If I was like had no eyeballs, what would that look like? Having the knowledge of what vision looks like and what it looks like when I close my eyes and all that, what would it look like if I had no eyeballs? Oh, what does it look like? What is it? What do you see when you look out your elbow? No, that doesn't help, okay? I'm sorry, but we can't perceive what looking out of our elbow looks like, okay? That's something you have to experience. I don't think you could ever do... It's like explaining color to someone who's, like, blind. It's simply nothing. Yeah, what does that look like, though? how do you compare something to nothing, right? So, let's say I were to go blind this instant. How would I compare that? Nothing. I know, yes. Like, I know it's nothing, but, like, you can't comprehend it, alright? And don't tell me you're sitting here like, oh yeah, I can comprehend it. No, you can't. No one does. Like when you blink, it doesn't. No. You can't. No, Cletus, don't high horse this. No. Don't high horse this one. Don't sit here and tell me, oh yeah, I can comprehend what nothing looks like. Yeah, I can say, oh yeah, it's the absence of literally anything. But that's completely different from experience, okay? You wrote a paper on it? Oh my gosh. Yep, we're gonna look this up right now.
Hi, I'm Mark Musinski. I'm 29 years old and I'm going blind.
I hate BuzzFeed
I was
so
born
much.
with a genetic mutation to my ABCA4 gene, which caused cone rod dystrophy, which is a form of macular degeneration. We didn't know initially. We found out when I was in kindergarten, and they make you do the vision test where you have to say if the red dot is inside or outside of the box. And I didn't know that there was a box even. They eventually brought me to Dr. Fishman, who's one of the leading optometrists, and based on their intonation, or I have to find some excuse.
See, I want the account of someone who previously could see. That's what I want. Look at Snap. So here's like another question I have. What if I were to go blind now, could I still make mental images in my... Yeah, I've been seeing that ad too on it. I've been seeing that ad too. Like if I went blind right now, fully blind, could I still see, like could I still mentally picture images in my head? And see what they look like? gosh. Let me get this. Let me put the minus AI in here. I don't want some AI overview. Oh my gosh. I don't want any TikTok thing as well. How do I search that up? Your own thoughts. Like, okay, you close your eyes and you imagine an apple in your head. Like, you know. Or do you have to have some sense of being able to see for that to happen? That's your brain, not your eyes. I know. Yes, I know that. Oh my gosh, Cletus, you are fucking high-horsing this shit so hard. Holy crap. Actually... Oh, no, wrong button. Well, here's another, okay. Whenever you, like, hear, like, okay, you think to yourself, you have, like, a voice in your head, right? That you, like, you'll think, like, think in my head. You know, I can imagine the voice in my head and what it sounds like. But that's not an actual voice. There is no audio at all. There is nothing going on for there to be an actual. Yeah, I could imagine what it sounds like to hear that. Now, if I went deaf completely, could I still hear that voice in my head? .1 average to 114. Oh my gosh, Cletus, this is the same fucking thing, Cletus. This is the same type of argument I am making. Same thing with vision. Even though it's not actually there in my head, if I imagine an apple, that is the same thing. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Oh, that's round. Thank goodness. I only have one more round. Oh, I'm done with this. One more round. That's the same thing, though, alright? See the tree and one can feel the... Wait. If one could see the tree, then one can feel... See the tree. Huh? Amazing, let that sink in. You're cooking? Don't like that. Alright, I'm out here for the next 2 hours and that's it. I'm trying to figure out how that's different though. How one is cooking and how one is like, am I stupid? I'm trying to figure out how that is any different. I really am, and I don't see it. Like neither are actually there in your head. Both of the things are being imagined. Are they still connected though? Or is the thing that I'm imagining completely separate from from hearing entirely? Same thing with vision. Is the thing I'm envisioning completely separate from vision entirely? I didn't think that was a dumb question, but apparently, no, it was a dumb question. But the thing that was the exact same, but with audio, is now cooking? Okay? Of course, they gave me a max ammo now. What they saw? Okay, so if I say like the sentence, or like if I say the word hello, and then imagine that exact same way I said it in my head again, can I use that as a reference since I just heard it? When a deaf person thinks to themselves in their head, if someone was born deaf by default, do they have a voice in their head that they hear? It's not an actual, like, you don't, there's no actual sound, but do they still have a voice in their head that they hear? Imagine stuff in their head? But not a blind since birth. Okay, so then why can't that also apply to hearing? If I were to hear before, I could still hear in my head. Not from me. Okay, never mind. How do some deaf people hear a voice in their head if they've never heard before? What is it they're hearing in their... Do the do-dat, the do's, the dams during the do's? Pretty much. Oh. time question. Alright, I'm gonna go throw a Wraithfire down. If I can find a good spot to do it. Okay, I don't know why that guy's just there. I don't know how he's not dying to all my wraiths, but okay. I'm not doing it. Playing it safe. Just there's one more round. I'll lose like a minute off of it. 30 seconds even. 10 seconds even. I'm just gonna watch a show, I guess, instead. I'm just gonna watch that Hulu show on Hulu then. So no audio for y'all. Oh my gosh, who cares about the Kardashians? I've never met a single human in my life who's like, oh boy, the Kardashians, I can't wait to see what they're up to. Why does BO4 make you do math? I mean, Black Ops Cold War did at the beginning as well until they changed it. There is a nifty little command I have, though. I didn't make it. It was Graves who made it. Exclamation point round, and then whatever the current round on screen. And it will tell you what round I'm on. So that way you don't have to do the incredibly laborious addition, you know, that we learned in, what, 2nd grade? Why couldn't they just make it BL6 at 999? I don't know. The round cap's 935, so they could have just like done that, but they're weird. Yeah, they did. What's next after this? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't even think I had an answer for it. I can't lie. IKIAB, IDC, or IDK, NGL, TSPMO. Retire? Yeah, retire. Maybe actually do something, like get a new hobby, maybe? I don't know. I've spent the past, like, 2 years of my life just focused solely on this map. Once it's done, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. In my head, I'm not done with the map until I hit 522 hours. 9 infinite instas, that actually is maybe the potential next one to do. It is possible. 9 infinite instas is definitely a possibility. If I can get, if IMZ, like, talks me into it, I'll do it. If IMZ, like, were to say, hey, do infinite instas or no GG, I would probably do it, you know. Do it? Yeah. That map would probably max out. Oh my gosh, you know how awesome that map would be? You could do a one window knifing like this here. You could actually get away with doing this right here. So it won't be the fastest, I can tell you that, but it would be the safest. Yeah, so there is a one spawn that you can do on a 9. There is, but it's really slow, and it's a unofficial one spawn as well. So, you know, it's called the Cursed Room, I think is what it's called. So you know the high round strat spot? on 9. Well, if you were to go to the right of that and just like, oh shoot, you know where? Okay, you know the free perk Easter egg, right? On the like the one where you have to pick up the helmet, the sword, and something else like a cup. Well, basically the spot where you grab the sword at, the KN-44 wall buy. Yeah, okay, so let's say you're in the crypts and you're looking at the doorway that brings you into the Pack-a-Punch room. Go to the right, just one room. That is the room for it. It's called the Cursed Room. So if you're in the crypts and you're looking towards Pack-a-Punch, it's just to the right, like behind the gate that you don't open. So what you do pretty much is get a horde of zombies, all the zombies in the round, bring them into that room, the Cursed Room. Make sure that door to the crypts is shut. And kill all the zombies in that room, and then stand in the back right corner, or just kind of on the right side in general. All the zombies will now either spawn in the front window. There's only one window in that room. They'll either spawn from there, or they'll spawn outside of the room on the left. However, for some reason, all the zombies that spawn outside the room there will despawn before, or like 99% of the zombies will despawn before they actually make it like to you. For whatever reason, no idea why. It is, I wouldn't call it an exploit because still every now and then a zombie will get through to you. So it doesn't break the rule of a one window per player, because some zombies will occasionally get through, and all the zombies at the very end of the round will also come at you from everywhere. So the last horde of the round, the zombies will come from the left, straight ahead of you, basically like normal. But also, because it's a one-window strategy, you're able to Ethereal Razor. And because the spawn rates are slow enough, for some, I don't know how to explain it. They just don't spawn normally. It's like 9 to 10 SPH there, probably. So it's still relatively fast, you know, don't get me wrong. But it's not like tag fast. It's like probably like 8 to 9 SPH. So it's doable with Ethereal Razor, which is what you need. That's the main part. So it is possible to do. Although getting to infinite instas on that map would be the worst experience of all time. I mean, if IMZ couldn't get it in 26 hours, however long it took him, who knows how long it would take. It's possible. And once you hit infinite instas, you are set. I mean, he almost got there. To be fair, he did almost get there, but he physically could not even continue his game. That is the craziest way I've ever seen a game end, was IMZ's 9 game. Blaze, no, here's the thing. So he went down. Every time you go down in hardcore, you lose all of your perks. So like on normal, when you go down, you only lose 2 of your perks. The first and third one you bought. Then the second time you go down, it's the second and fourth one. When IMZ goes down on hardcore, you lose all your perks, like normal zombies. You also have half of your points taken away from you. He went from like 4 million points all the way down to like, I think 7,000 or something like that. He went down to, I think, well, whenever he took his last down. I don't know how many it was. He did not have enough points to buy Blaze Phase back, which is the only way he could have made points. He could have never have made points again in that game. The only way he could have done it is if somehow he hit the box and got the Stingray from it. The Stingray or the Scorpion. If he didn't get the Stingray or the Scorpion from 2 box hits, that was game. He physically could not have completed the game, or completed the round. It was over. He had no way to kill zombies, meaning he had no way to get points. Now, okay, think about it. Technically, what you can do is, okay, he could have technically finished the round. It would have taken probably like 100+ hours to do, though. Realistically, I don't know how long it would have taken. A horde of zombies will die out after about a few, like, what, 180 seconds it is, if you don't touch them at all and don't interact with them. And that's also only if they can't get to you. So he would have had to do a glitch anyways. The game was over. If the zombies can't get to you, they'll die out and yeah, they'll bleed out pretty much. Yeah. However, that will only ever finish off the current round that you're on. It will never. The rounds can't auto-complete over and over. It will only do it for the current round you're on. And even then, though, unless he had like a special round next or something like that, some way to get Blaze Phase, it wasn't going to happen. It was not possible. Like, even if he had an AAT, he could have done it. I don't think he even had an AAT he could use, though, because what you could have done is just, like, you only get 90 points per kill with an AAT, and on hardcore, it will only affect one zombie at a... Or it'll affect multiple zombies, but you'll only ever kill one zombie at a time with an AAT. You could just keep doing that over and over and over until you get enough for Blaze Phase. But even then, that's not realistic. His game was over. And he was financially broke. It's the craziest way I've ever seen a game end. Ugh. Dang. So, you can't go down, really. You really have to play perfect. Although, from what I know, he did not do that. He did not kind of do the strat. There's no electric zombies, and it's kind of nice. He never did that thing where you can get kills with, like, on round, like by round 180, from like 180 and onwards. Every time you shoot a zombie in the head with no matter what weapon they use, they'll always die. They'll like take tick damage. It's weird. And they'll guaranteed die after a little bit. So, he maybe that was working, maybe it wasn't working. I have no idea. I don't know. Where are all the other officers in this case here? What the heck? Actual plot armor here. Oh my jump scare. Oh, he just punched him in the balls. Damn. Oh, my legs hurt. My calves, I don't know what they are. The 54 Immortals. I go bathroom. All right. You're telling me that they had heard none of this. All right, cool. Yeah. She wrote her number in it. I knew it. Let's go. I love that. Oh, I love that so much. I can fit one more episode in, right? Right. I think I can. Oh, did you change your melee? But yeah, I'm using tactical. The tactical, whatever format in the game. I'm pressing the circle B button. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, it's the lawyer person. Does it say on 256? No. It goes, so 255, well, round 255 will happen like normal. When you complete 255, it'll go to what the game considers 256. But because, you know, the round counter is kind of stupid and all that, it'll show rounds, so there won't be a round up on screen. So it'll be like a round 0. And then once it shows, after that, it'll go roll back over to round 1. So, it just rolls over pretty much. So it goes 255, no round counter, and then round 1. So the 256 is rounds 1 through 255 plus the empty round counter. Mr. JZM has a plus 512 I'm going to be able to use once I hit that, which will be really cool to put on screen instead of just, you know, a plus 256. Apparently, it's for the devs, it's too hard to make it where the round counter displays like the normal round. Yeah, it still keeps increasing in zombies. So I think this round or last round, I had about 22,000 zombies in the round. That was my total for it. It's about like an hour and 50 minutes or so of knifing, give or take, a little bit here and there. If I have Helium Salvo ammo, I can just go in that room right over here. Why is it always 256 with every game? I have no idea. That's just how it is. So I know actually no, I think I know. It's because of the way that I don't know for sure. Like, I know the bits and pieces of it, but... So, from what I'm aware of, whenever the round counter on screen is displayed using 8-bit, or like an 8-bit integer, 8-bit integer can only, so it's like, you know, you always see those things where it's like, alright, you have ones and zeros, and all that stuff. Well, the number 255 is represented by a string of 8 ones. Round 0 is represented by a string of 0, 8, or 8 zeros. So, how I assume it to be, and this is, I don't know for sure, it probably is, maybe, is that that's what they use. They use 8 bits of, 8 bits, a byte, I don't know, whatever, 8 bits of memory to display the round counter. So, once it hits 255, and it tries to add more to it, it overflows, and everything gets reset back to 0. So... But it's weird, though, then, if that's the case, what I never understood is, why isn't there a round number on screen if it's a 0? So, like, whenever you get to 257, it'll show as round 1 on screen. And that makes sense, but 256, there is a 0 in the game. Like... I don't get why it wouldn't... I don't understand why it wouldn't correctly show a 0. That's the part that doesn't make sense to me. Because on Black Ops 3, it does actually show a 0. Like, if you, like, use mods and all that stuff to force it past 256, it will show a 0 because it does the same thing. It, like, overflows. So I just don't get it. So any number, though, that's, like, not... Imagine? Yeah. Yeah, it can't be a hard thing to change. I can't imagine. That's just allocate a little bit more memory in displaying the round number, and that's it. Any numbers like 935, 999, though, those are intentional, like, decisions they made, which is always weird to me. I'll never understand why they went with, like, okay, maybe they didn't think anyone could get that far. Maybe they didn't want to have to make it where the round counter can be displayed in, I don't know, four like numerical spots. I have no idea. Now, what's also weird though is when you play Outbreak on Cold War, it will reset after 1024, which I think, if I'm right, I think that is 2 to the 10th power. I think. Yeah, 2 to the 10 is 1024. So the round counter on Outbreak in Cold War is represented by 10 bits of, like 10 little, 10 bytes bits, I think is what it is. It's so weird. I don't get why it does that. I really don't feel like that could be that difficult of a change to make. Just make it like allocate 16 bits of memory to that, and there you go. You got like 32,000 or whatever the number is. Yeah, you get like 32,000 though. But then and it's weird as well, because like there's pieces of code that will check the round number and be like, okay, if the round is greater, like if the next round that's coming up is greater than this round here, the next round is going to be equal to the current round. So basically, I know this is how the code is on Black Ops 4 here and on Cold War, is it'll say, okay, if the next round is higher than 935, then the next round will be 935. So the highest round you can actually get to in this game here is 935. It'll never get hit because you'll crash, or not crash, you'll black screen way before that. But nah, whatever. Yeah, I think they should. There's no reason to not give it more memory. Like they did it in World at War, they did it in Black Ops 1, even though it doesn't even matter really in Black Ops 1. They capped it off though in Black Ops 2. And there's code in Black Ops 3 saying if it's higher than 255, then well, it is going to be 255 then. It's weird, and I'm not a fan of it actually. I've never liked I never liked there being round caps personally. Round caps kind of I think there should only ever be one high round world record. Unless it's like a genuine tie, then sure. But like there shouldn't be 40-something people who have the highest round possible. Like it should be one person. That's my opinion on it. Oh, man. Well, the round's gonna be over here in like 45 minutes, I think. So I need something to do for 45 minutes here. Then I can go to bed, finally. I'll be at 500, yay! Maybe I'll get a dog round and I'll be at 501 afterwards. That'd be cool. What is Waffle Man talking about here? Is he making a game? Same shot. I've seen. Yeah, it's brain dead. It genuinely is the most literal way brain dead. All I gotta do is just press one button. That's all I've been doing for the past 140 something, 160 hours. I've been pressing a single button, and it's making me insane. It's not that fun. Oh my gosh. That's what that guy on Roblox was talking about. I completely forgot about it. A few days ago, I was playing Pressure on Roblox, and some guy was like, yeah, there's this game coming out that like some people are working on called The Foundation. You should play it. It's like Pressure indoors. That's what this is? Wow. I never knew that's what that was. See, I've got 99 Liberty Falls. That was Brain Rot. Yeah, no. That one, Liberty Falls compared to this is like the most entertaining thing in the world. You at least have to put like an ounce of thought into it. You don't have to do that with this. What I've done, the things I've done during this, I've read, whenever like I'm really, really bored, I will read some books from my school classes. I'm in college. I'll read some whatever, like Decoding Madness by Richard Lettieri, whatever my books are for criminology and criminal justice. I'll read some of that for my book clubs at school. Completely fine as well. It's not an issue. It's the easiest thing ever. I can like do basic tasks such as like cookie clicker type of stuff. It's Scroll TikTok? I've done that too. Yeah. Yeah, I've been watching The Rookie on Hulu. That's what I've been doing here. I'm on that. I'll kind of watch whatever I can on YouTube, listen to music, just anything and everything really. I do a little bit. I'm trying my desktop audio here. It's just boring though. Usually I'll click through YouTube videos for like an hour straight, and then get bored and do something else. Wait, did Corp's husband do a face reveal? I haven't heard about that guy in so long. No way.
Face reveals on YouTube are usually a big deal. It's the moment
muscle memory will kick in. You know what I was actually thinking about the other day? I was saying yesterday, or maybe today, I don't know. I have no idea. It all blends together at this point. I was saying, like, I wish I could map it, like, what I'm doing here to be a pedal that I just push with my foot. No, this is not round. I have like 20 more minutes left after this. At least I don't think this is round. The round should not be over yet. It should be like another 20 to 25 minutes here. I think it is. Oh, yeah, okay, it's Electric Zombies, yeah. But I was really hoping I could, like, map this button to a foot pedal. I could, in the most literal way, play full-on other games while playing this. I could play Overwatch while doing this. You know, Mercy's not too much of a hero to play. Just, like constantly tap my foot here. You know? And then just play games on the side. It would be so much more entertaining. I've had times where I'm like so not in with the game, what's going on, that I'll just sit here and press this button for like an extra 30 seconds at the end of the round because I don't know what's going on. So... I want to play like Rocket League right now. I want to go play like some like Pressure on Roblox or something. Something fun. Something that's actually engaging. You're gonna hit 500? Yeah, here in about probably 25 minutes or so. Yeah. Honestly, I feel nothing. I genuinely don't feel a thing about this. It doesn't feel special right now. Round reset counter number 2. Ooh, that's about... let's say I get dogs next round, that'll be about another 10 rounds. So, if I don't get good dogs, though, I only get 1 dog round until then. So, 9 rounds, so 9 times... I get 2 in total. Even if I don't get lucky. So about 21 hours from now, maybe. It'll be about 21 hours from now. So I actually could hit it by the end of next week, yeah. I think I initially it was about 280 to 290 hours is when I should hit it. It's going to look more like 295, though. It's kind of hard to guess that stuff that far ahead. Especially when the rounds take that long. Yeah, definitely. I think I'll definitely get it next week. I'm actually able to play this Sunday because I don't have to go to my first class at my college is canceled in the morning, so I don't have to go up there Sunday night to my dorm. So I can actually stay here and just go up there Monday morning, and I can play this more. Yeah, it's about yeah, the rounds are about an hour and 50 minutes or so. I did the math of it as well. The rounds at their longest will take about 2 hours and 15 to 20 minutes. So I will still not have the longest round on this map. So you could pretty safely guarantee, Bullet, that I will not ever have the longest round on this map. It's going to pretty much a guaranteed be... Or it's going to be Sovietsky for guaranteed. It's going to be, yeah, Sovietsky's at like a 2 hours and 26 minutes. Yeah, first room, yeah. Mine will be about 10 minutes short. Now, I could keep playing this way for another, like, 50 hours and get the longest. I don't care, though. I'm going for the highest round I can, you know. Although, because I really didn't take a break in between rounds here, it may be over with in like 15 minutes from now. I don't know. There's a zombie to my right. There we go. I just want to go to bed. I just want to go to bed, man. I want to play some, like, Shattered Veil, honestly. Kind of sounds fun, to an extent. Or I know new people who joined. Oh yeah, I saw that. I have no idea who any of those people are. I was looking at the call to see who all was in it earlier today. I assume you mean on Tails' Discord. Yeah, I have no idea. I saw one person was streaming. Oh, they're BO1 players. Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't heard of a single one of them. I've never heard of any of them. When Mango got Shinonuma world record and they all joined. Oh. Okay. Shinonuma world record on Black Ops 1, right? Not World at War. There's no way someone pushed that higher. I'm thinking there is no way. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Like, there's no way someone pushed Shinonuma even higher than already. Yeah, that definitely can be, yeah. Oh my gosh. I want to get to bed, kind of. Okay. Say the 12th, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. This anime I'm watching, what's it called? My friend Zodas was telling me about this show called Food Wars. Oh my gosh, I hate it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, no, Yu-Gi-Oh's fine. Yu-Gi-Oh's fine. Why do you hate Food Wars? I don't hate Food Wars. I haven't even seen the show, alright? However, the parts that I have seen are like absolutely like, oh come on. What's the plot of Food Wars? I genuinely don't get it from the little clips I'm seeing on YouTube when I looked it up. They don't do the show any justice, okay? They do not do the show any justice. Like, I'm sure it's probably fine. Like, I saw someone take a bite of some food and all their clothes got ripped off, and I'm thinking, why can't food do that to me? Why can't I have food so good that it just rips all my clothes off? What the heck? Why can't I have that? You heard me, like... Wait, Sam O'Neilla has a...
Hello and welcome to Sam Mansplains the New York Times Puzzle. Working title. Now, for those of you familiar with my work, I know the sound of me talking softly might immediately put you on edge. I don't blame you. I've betrayed you before. But worry not. This tone is merely to indicate that I'm getting into the business of content to fall asleep to. I got the idea for this channel after seeing a lot of people over the past couple years get NYT game subscriptions, usually for the connections and to a lesser degree the spelling bees, strands, all that. If you're one of those people, you might have said to yourself, hey, I'm paying for this anyway, why don't I give the crosswords a shot? If this describes you, you may have subsequently found that they are goddamn impossible. Well, let me first say, you are not dumb. I promise you.
So this is... What kind of video on... Okay. Actually, what? In the 40s for episodes, and it's got less than 80 more to go? Oh, no. Finishing a series up is, like, the saddest thing ever. I watched Demon Slayer earlier during this game. During the, right as I got to Infinite Incest. I started watching Demon Slayer. And that has been the most peak show I have ever watched in my life. Even more, the soundtrack to that show is unbelievable. I kid you not, the soundtrack to Demon Slayer is the best soundtrack I have ever heard in my entire life. I have not heard a soundtrack to a show better than Demon Slayer's. I watched it. I watched the entire thing on like stream when I was doing it, right? I didn't know at the time that YouTube was going to copyright claim all of the audio, which I now learned. So I actually, for the past like 2 months, 3 months, ever since the game started and I've started uploading video, I have had to every single day fight a copyright claim. Once a day, every single day. Because there's one 10-hour stream I had that I watched like 8 to 12 episodes in. And I almost there was like probably 60 to 70 copyright claims on that video. I'm like down to maybe 10 to 12 now. I have no idea. I'm down to not many left, but I started this game on, I think, December 29th is when I started it. So it's been a wee bit of time. Just a smidge. Oh, did you hear? Mex Morer is considering quitting out of his game, which is gonna be so sad if he does. I tried telling him he came to my stream yesterday, or yeah, yesterday, and was like, I'm thinking of ending my game. When we playing Phasmophobia? Oh my gosh, that's right. Dude, we need to get Mex. You, me, and Mex all play some Phasmophobia. Be crazy. I haven't actually touched Phasmophobia in a while, I'm not gonna lie. I forget everything from that game. Like, me, you, and Mex on Phas. I know, right? 0 sanity. Perfect runs. I try hard at that game, so I like studied that game when I first started playing it. I really like studied all the different like abilities, the behaviors. That was so much fun to do. I loved learning that stuff. Yeah, the game though will probably be finished about mid-July. I'm trying to finish this game up before July 17th. That's when I go. My parents and I are all heading out to Colorado, so I want to try and get it finished up before then. I'm on schedule to do that. I am on schedule. I'm about halfway through my game right now. Like, I give myself about 200-ish days or so to do it. So, I haven't played Schedule 1, but I've seen Schedule 1. I've seen, like, Moist Critical and play it and all that. It looks decent. I heard that some other, like, drug-dealing game, though, was suing Schedule 1. And I'm thinking, how do you sue someone over, like, drug dealing? Like, there's only so many ways you can make drugs. It's like saying, our player drinks water and so does yours, so we're gonna sue you for that. Oh, no. There's only so many ways to ingest water. Oh, I want this. Okay, the round should be over any second. The moment the electric zombies stop spawning here, it will be over then. That's how you can kind of tell when they after about every like maybe quarter of the way through the game, they'll stop spawning for a little bit. But at the last like they'll stop spawning again about 20 minutes before the round ends. That's how you can kind of tell when it's getting close. So, would you tear all your hair out if you're required to have voice lines on? I honestly would just mute my headphones. Like, I could turn the volume down on my headphones here. I would just do that. So, oh, perfect. Hey, perfect timing. Perfect timing, Graves. Round's about to be finished up here in a second. Like, literal perfect timing. Quick, hurry, spread the words. No. Whoa, I know, right? I was waiting for the electric zombies to stop spawning. I'm done. At everyone, let's go. Maybe they'll give me at everyone perms on ZWR. That's pretty cool. Yeah, 273 hours. Yeah, it's a week. Yeah, took a bit. Dude, I'm not even happy at this point. I'm ready for bed. I'm ready for bed. I want to go to sleep. Go to sleep? Yeah, let me just pause the game and I'll be done for the night, actually. Good idea. It's like 2 a.m. for me almost. It is 1:52 a.m. The rounds are about an hour and 50 minutes, I think. Somewhere around there. I have no idea. About an hour 50. Takes about 4 hours on average to complete the round. But because I didn't really take a break in between rounds this time, I should be done within at most 10 minutes here. Stream time's been up it's at 3:38. I barely paused at all. I really tried not to pause much. Should I have a song play? Actually, I have the perfect song to play for this right here. Where's that one French song? Here's that French I don't never mind. There's dude, I'm like on edge right now.
No.
I'm gonna play another song that I like a little bit more. Where is it at? 1 hour later? I know. Dude, it feels like it. Some Fox Stevenson.
You're probably due an explanation. Could be you've even been.
I really want to see this guy in concert, though. I can't. I have finals whenever he's coming to, like, Illinois. Or, I don't even live in Illinois, but, like, that's the closest concert for me. Is in, Chicago. On May 2nd. And I have finals that week. Which sucks so much.
All of my enemies and nemesis. I'd love to see you all again. But for now, my pride will get the best of me. And it's sad but true. My exile is a habit.
When's it gonna end?
From my quiet little planet, I'm not sure why I keep my distance and extended. I'm scared.
Dude, it's right around the corner. Oh.
Won't be what you expect.
Game time? Not that much. I think it was like at 320. Okay, a lot of time, obviously. Like 320 hours, though, I think is what it was. Like, comparatively to everything else, a long time. But go. Oh, come on.
Like 8 months later, how you doing there? I'm floating.
I'm actually gonna have an aneurysm before the round ends.
But I do adore the times I'm spending. It's sad but true. My exile is
I'm going back to the other song. Going back to the French song. Hip hip hooray for the French. uh, dude, I'm literally shaking right now. I'm like flat out shaking. I gotta update the dogs here. All right. Command edit dogs. Dude, look at these dog rounds. Massive. Massive. All right. Well, I can't. I'm so happy to add 500 to that list now. Oh. 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 Hello, Chief. Dude, I'm literally shaking right now. Oh my gosh. Like, this is... this is bad. I got 500. And I actually got 501 now. Look at that. Oh, I don't even want to sleep now. I want to keep playing. I just want to keep playing. I want to just like keep playing forever. Keep going? I can't. I literally have to go to bed. I have to be up by like 6:45 a.m. to register for classes for school next semester. I need to get to bed. In the most literal way. I shouldn't have even done this tonight. Weak? I know. Look, shut up. Let me have my 4 hours of sleep, okay? Let me have my 4.5 hours of sleep. I feel like I deserve it. A little. I know. Alright, I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. It's wearing off now. I need to go to sleep so badly. I'm so freaking tired. Alright. I'll play some more tomorrow, maybe. Or I'll just never play again. I don't know. Alright. I'll see you guys later. Let's go see, wait, first, actually, let's go see if I can raid anyone. Let me see if I can raid anyone. I'm feeling like, I don't know if there's even anyone awake. Is there even anyone awake who plays Black Ops 4? I can't raid on YouTube, by the way. $58 viewers. Anyone playing zombies high rounds? Not a soul playing it, no. I don't have anyone to really raid. Wait, is he live on Twitch or YouTube? Do I not follow him on Twitch? Oh my gosh, I don't. What am I doing? I'm actually throwing. Oh, he's going to eat. That sucks. That kind of sucks. Well. L staff? I know, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's how long has he been gone for? He's been gone for a while, I think. I'll just hand him over to you guys. I'll just hand all you guys over to him though, okay? Hold on, before I Alright. I'll hand them all over to him. Raid or 9. Alright. I'll go there for a little bit. I'll see you all later. Good night. Goodbye. I'm dead tired, man. Bye. Is he